want to get into science, and now so your son is knowledge culture.
Indeed,
now,
yes.
right? And you're dealing with the science of homeschooling.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's a deep science. Now, can you tell us like how you even came upon that decision to do that?
Yeah, originally it was my queen. That was something she set out for us to do for our children, and it really was just, we felt like we could do a better job. And we also felt like we could pull them away from grades. We could start teaching them, because we both own businesses, we could start teaching them business principles. We could teach them technology. We could teach them things that would be outside of the school system. So that was the original idea. And when we started, honestly, it's a challenge. And it was more of a challenge for me than it was for them. I realized I had to change my thinking because I was still thinking in a grade mentality. I was still thinking that I had to try to duplicate what the school system had done, but I just do it at home. And I realized the more I was doing that, the more I was failing. So what I started doing, I started talking to my son more and talking to my daughter more, saying, what do y'all want to learn? So one of the first things we started doing was, well, what are some of the topics that y'all want to learn about? What's some things, or how can we do it? And we start having, it was more of an interactive conversation, and it wasn't us talking to them, it was us having a conversation with them.
Building.
True, because this their education.
Right.
I mean, so one of the things in school, you may not necessarily get an opportunity to learn something that you're passionate about. My son is into dance, so at one point we had him doing a dance class online. You know, we have drawing and art classes because I grew up, you know, I learned art. So my son, he's not an artist per se, but he wanted to learn to draw, so we spent time drawing. We go through 120 in the morning. We speak about the lessons that he's at. We have a time, we talk about sexual education and drugs. We had a drug class at one point. We had a hip hop class. My son, and I got to see his strengths. Like, this dude is a master at PowerPoint. Like, we would have never known that, you know, if he'd just been in public school.
Right.
Man, he'll put together a presentation in a minute. He's really good at presentations.
Wow.
However, the school system wasn't allowing him to express that. He's a great researcher. If I get him a project about finding something out, right now he's doing a project on Satchel Paige, who was a pitcher in the Negro League. And he's thorough. He will watch movies, read articles, and he'll put together a presentation and tell you exactly what this man's life and career was about. He's really good at that. And so I got a chance to see that part of him that I never would have known. He might not even realized it if he's in a public school. So it's just, it's different things. I feel like it's really giving him an opportunity to express his education in a different way. And I feel like it's giving him more confidence as well, because he was struggling with math when he was in the school system. Right now, I got him dealing with algebra, and we go through every step.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, like some of the traditional subjects and stuff like that. Do you cover that? Like really, like you say, algebra. Like,
yes.
You know, that form of mathematics. I mean, you have to be thorough in it to know it.
To a certain degree.
Right.
Now, I got them taking algebra and English online.
Okay.
So they have little video modules set up. And if I can't remember some, or I never learned it, because some stuff I realized I ain't never learned.
Right.
I watched the video with them.
So you're learning with them?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like you're sharpening up with
Absolutely.
them. And that's important that to be sharpen up with your parents and go through it and exercise the mind.
True. And he can see that I don't know everything. Sometimes we learn it together.
Right.
So, but that's life though. You never gonna be walking through life and just understand everything. You gotta, like we said, forever a student. And if you're not committed to learning, you're gonna get old and die. The only way you die is when you get old. The only way you get old, you stop learning.
Right. Wow. Now that's peace though, you know, because dealing with, I know that brings your family together.
Indeed, yeah.
You know, now you're learning together.
Yeah,
so like,
absolutely.
Like the way Christians would say, family that prays together, stays together.
No doubt.
Family that learns together.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? And grows together.
No doubt. We do Black history, you know what I mean? I just purchased these like flashcards of you know, Black figures, and we'll talk about some of the lives that people have lived, and we'll watch documentaries. I had them watch the 13th about the prison system. So just different things. We watched Boys in the Hood, you know. I had him break down a hip hop song for a class, and he picked a J. Cole song. And he did a good job. I'm not even a fan of J. Cole, but after he gave me that presentation, we were sitting there like, damn, that's cold. We need to listen to J. Cole, I guess. Need to get back up on my J. Cole then.
Well, how does that work with your timing though? Like in terms of like running your own business and then homeschooling.
Yeah.
That's a
challenge.
science. I mean, can you like at least touch on that? Like, 'cause I know that's an intricate science.
Indeed, it takes some preparation. I really depend on my son though a lot because I leave the responsibility to him. So I set out the lesson plan. It's up to him to follow it. We have a schedule. And I keep him the task. That's up to you to follow the schedule. Right. Now, if you need something, you come get me. If you run into an issue, we convene in the morning and in the afternoon. So unless I'm teaching a class. So the math, he goes through it online, and sometimes I'll sit in and watch the videos and do it with him. If he's running into trouble, we'll go back through the videos and we'll learn together. But if, for instance, I taught the hip hop class, so that's my actual one-on-one time with him while I'm walking him through. We got driving, so I teach him to drive. That's my actual one-on-one class. Right. But some of the classes are just projects that he does on his own, and so I put that responsibility on him.
And then you kind of walk and talk with him and build it.
And I check up on him. Because on the online system, I can always look and see where he's at. I can see how many lessons he's completed. And the classes that I teach myself, I already know where he's at in it. So, and then balancing the business, it's balance, you know. I stop taking on things I can't do. When I feel like, well, you know what, I don't leave the house, like I shoot video. I strive not to go out and shoot unless I really, really got to. I try to see if I can get somebody else to shoot for me. Sometimes I'll see if I can use stock footage, all of these other things, so that I'm not wasting my time. That if I'm going out to shoot something, then it's worth it. You know what I mean? So it's just balance.
Right. Now, how does that work when, like, you know, a lot of our society is, what schools you go to? You know, or you know. Yeah. If you didn't go to a specific school or you come from a certain area that had certain type of schooling, kind of frown upon it, or even getting into like college, do you tend to go to college and everything, or is that something that you?
We talk about it. We keep it on. It's like it's on the table. It's not a requirement, but it's on the table. We pretty much have left it to him. If he wants to go, he has our support. If he don't want to go, he still got our support. Because college don't define your education. And that's 120 in this nation told me that. The wisest men I ever spoke to stayed in the projects in Nawa. You know what I'm saying? They didn't necessarily have a Harvard education, however they had education. And when I saw that, it made me realize a lot of times we can have things imposed on us by our society, and we supposed to be free thinkers. We supposed to think for ourselves once we get this, so we gotta not be affected by what the outside society say sometimes. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a pin. That's a pin that needs to be there. It needs to be removed because, like, you know, dealing with like, you know, the whole school system. If you didn't go to Harvard or, you know what I'm saying, or to apply for certain jobs, and that's what society makes you think. Like, you know, in order for me to survive, I have to go to these different institutions that are basically co-signed by the Caucasian man. And if they're not co-signed by that you know, these Caucasians, then it's not worth anything. And this is where we have to show and prove. Right? And that's a little difficult.
Well, you know, the world is changing too, though, because I even saw that Google and Apple, they start relaxing their degree requirements. Like, you used to need to have a bachelor's degree for certain things, but when people can learn the code on their own or go through some accelerated course, if you got the skill set, you can find employment. Now, the second thing, though, is do you want to be an employee?
Right.
Because that changed when you talk about running your own, and what we feel is that the world is really coming to you starting a job, working 40 years and getting retirement. That's done. That ain't happening no more. You need to find some education should be fashioned in order for us to be self-sufficient as a people. Self-sufficiency is more when you, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, are controlling your own destiny. And so that's what we would like them to do. But also at the same time, entrepreneurship ain't for everybody. However, if you have a high skill set in something and you're passionate about something, you can figure it out. And if you learn how to learn, you can figure it out.
Right. That's why I said, I mean, it's a pin, because some people are just more comfortable settling in a structure that is already built.
True.
You know, just adding on as opposed to building from scratch.
It's hard.
You know, and then we say, you know, we making an own.
True.
So what are you going to do? You gonna make it and own it, or what? Or you gonna go with somebody who made it and owned it already?
True.
And now you're working for them.
Yeah. And that's when we really, as a nation, we really got to start thinking about what we really saying, and then what we really doing. What are we making? I remember God used to always say, "What have you really made?" You say you're the maker and only owner or something. What have you made? What have you built? We always say we building, but building ain't talking.
Right.
Talking is building is seeing something that comes from what your actions, you know what I'm saying, have put in, what you've manifested. What have you born? What have you brought into existence? What have you taken from knowledge to born? And that's what we gotta start looking at. We gotta create things. We gotta make things. We gotta build things. We gotta born things. Yeah. That's what Allah wanted.
Right.
He wanted this is universal. 100% satisfaction is our goal. It's not just to be having this and speaking to one another. It's really to bring the planet and the universe back to 100% satisfaction. That's really our goal. A lot of people don't see it like that, though.
Right.
And to be satisfied is to do the things that you know, that you love, that you're passionate about, that you understand.
Right. Okay, God. Well, I appreciate your time, God.
Indeed.
Is there anything else you want to add on, God?
Hey, God, I appreciate you for coming out here, for real, because it ain't often we get visitors, and I respect your work, and I respect your work ethic. Like I said, I watch the videos. I follow you on the gram. When you're doing things, I pay attention because I respect the quality of the interviews that you do. Not just that, but who you speak to. Like, you are providing a real service. Some people that might not get a chance to go to Now Why, that might be the only time that they see some of the older brothers that you interview, like ever hear them speak. So the work you're doing is like real. That's real work that you're doing. I respect it, and I salute you, and I want to support.
I appreciate it, Almighty. Nah, I do this for us. I tell everybody, I do this for us.
No doubt.
So I continue to do this for us.
Peace to the God.
Peace, God.
If Mecca did this.
Peace. In celebration of each other, we support each other's hustle. Weight Life has sponsored this content. You can get a sweatshirt, t-shirt, or a hoodie at the Common Unity store of a law school in Mecca. Or just simply hit me up. I got the hookup. Peace.